San Juan, Puerto Rico. You guys went hard last night, and we appreciate you for that. Hello and welcome to FCTR. I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about WWE Backlash 2023, and this is my review of the show where I talk about the angles, the matches, absolutely everything that you would find in a review. But before we get to that, please hit subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them as we dive into Backlash, a show that I think on paper and in, hindsight, we can look upon this show as something that blew expectations out of the water. My expectations for this show were pretty darn low. I did not have a lot of confidence going into this. It's been booked pretty sort of mediocrely, if that's a word. It seemed like a stopgap in between getting this new world championship and establishing Roman's feud. So I don't think this was going to be a blow-away show, but props to WWE, who, like Puerto Rico themselves, went hard on this show and delivered a bomb, an absolute dynamite explosion of wrestling joy. This is probably my favourite show of the year. I'll put that out there right now. I loved it from pretty much top to bottom. So shall we just dive straight into the show that started with the video package, opening with the host of Backlash, Bad Bunny, who didn't do a lot of hosting. I think he was billed as the host of Backlash. He didn't do a lot of hosting. He did a lot of wrestling, but he didn't do a lot of hosting. And then we got, I don't know if this is a new thing, because I saw a tweet about the drone shot that went through the arena into the big open bit. It went through the entrance to the arena. Did it not look like Evil Dead to some people? It was very Evil Dead to me, and I was like, this is a bit spooky. The big drone shot flying in through the stadium and looking over the crowd. I was like, oh, okay, I've just seen Evil Dead Rise. This looks like a shot out of Evil Dead Rise, only we're getting a spooky bit of nonsense in the arena. But no, it's a new drone thing that they're doing. Cool, I guess. Cool. And then we got the opening match. The opening match was Bianca Belair taking on Io Sky for the Raw Women's Championship, a match that is potentially my match of the night. This was insane. I loved this match so much. I think it's Bianca Belair's best in a long, long time. The crowd in San Juan were fully behind Io Sky. So was I. That turned me completely onto the thought of Io Sky winning this championship. But they delivered an NXT TakeOver quality match. This was top to bottom, just flawless psychologically, execution-wise. Everything worked so well. Io Sky was working over the arm of Bianca Belair, targeting that so that Bianca can't use her power moves for the rest of the match. And it worked really well in terms of that story. Damage Control did not accompany Io Sky out to the ring at all for the majority of the match. This was just a one-on-one, who can one-up each other psychology battle with Io Sky doing impressive move after impressive move. Bianca as well trying to top her by doing impressive move after impressive move. You got the insane looking handspring that Bianca did on the apron back into a kick from Io, and I thought that just looked great. A huge one-handed military press slam from Bianca, which Io landed on her face. Huge face plant to the mat off that, and I think just everything they did in this match was flawless. I loved it. And the finish came when Damage Control ran down. It looks like, they're going to help, potentially, Dakota Kai and Bayley run down, and they're going to push Io to that victory. Insane near fall that I thought maybe they'd called an audible on, and Io was going to win. But that insane roll-up led to a bit of miscommunication from Damage Control, in which Io Sky went to the top rope. Bayley held the hair of Belair down as Io went for the moonsault. Took a little bit too long because she was getting distracted by the ref, and Bayley went for the moonsault. KOD, 1, 2, 3, Bianca wins. 2 thunderous boos from the San Juan crowd. It was an awesome match. It was really, really good. Potentially call an audible. I think it could have worked having Io win. She's so over. And Bianca, turns heel off the back of that. You get a heel Bianca because the fans have turned on her. And I think this will be interesting to see what happens on Raw when SmackDown, because she's on SmackDown now. When Bianca comes out on SmackDown, whether this reaction will carry across to other locations, whether it's Cena status now, where the opponents are going to get cheered over the ultra super good babyface of Belair. We'll see with that. I can't imagine they're going to take the belt off Bianca anytime soon. It seems like they're really pushing for these long reigns for their champions now. And we'll see where that goes. We shall see from there. But this match in isolation, I absolutely loved. Next up, we got a little bit of a backstage skit with Savio Vega showing up with Rey Mysterio, the LWO, and Bad Bunny. That was nice to see. We get a bit of a rundown of the draft and where people have moved. And then we got Seth Rollins versus Omos. Now, okay, Omos. I've been outspoken about Omos. I do not think Omos is very good. I am not an Omos sapien, I think they're called. Not for me. Not for me, Omos. This match was his best. I will fully put my hands up and say I enjoyed this match. This was easily Omos's best match I've ever seen. How much of that was Rollins? I don't know. But it was really enjoyable. It was a really enjoyable big man versus little man. I should have said David versus Goliath. That type of match. I think Rollins worked it really well. And some of the spots in here made Omos look cool. The one in particular that stands out to me is him no-selling the stomp, where Rollins goes for a stomp, but he's just pressing himself up and not refusing to take the stomp. I thought that looked really cool. There were a lot of dives. There was a lot of Omos plodding, snake eyes, big boo, all that kind of stuff. So there's nothing to write home about there, but I think both guys came out of it looking good. Seth picked up the win. He hit 2 stomps and then a top rope stomp to put away the Giant. It was fun. It was enjoyable enough. I enjoyed an Omos match, which is more than I can say for the majority of the other ones that he's had. So yeah, okay, really good. Thumbs up. We'll see where Omos goes from here, though. We shall see. I still think Omos has had way too many pay-per-view matches compared to other people on the roster. But by the by, I enjoyed this match. I enjoyed it, I swear. Following on from that, we got the triple threat match for the United States Championship. Bronson Reed versus Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley. This was shorter than I thought it would be. I thought this might go a little bit longer, but what I liked about this is this wasn't a typical triple threat. I think we're out of the era of someone rolls to the ring and you get a one-on-one match now. A lot of the triple threats I've seen recently had a lot of intertwined offense. Austin Theory was teaming up with Bronson Reed for a little bit. The two heels going after the big babyface Bobby Lashley. Well, then you got some nice interactions where, for example, Austin Theory tripped Bobby Lashley on the outside and Bronson Reed hit a splash very quickly. Bronson Reed, I think, looked awesome in this match. I would have liked to have seen him pick up the win, but following the draft, we all knew he was taking the L. He was the one getting pinned, and he was pinned by Bobby Lashley, sort of. He was beaten by Bobby Lashley, should I say, as Bobby Lashley nailed a spear on Bronson Reed for the dastardly prick Austin Theory to slide in and make the cover on Reed. Plays well for the character of Theory. I hope this doesn't continue. I hope we don't get Austin Theory or Bobby Lashley on SmackDown. I know they're both on SmackDown, but I don't want any more of that feud. Literally keep them as far apart as possible. And hopefully Reed can go on to cooler, better things on Raw. Maybe challenging Gunther. This wasn't an amazing triple threat match, but it did the job in the space of about 10 minutes that it was supposed to. Bronson Reed, though, I forgot to mention this, did a springboard Vader bomb to the outside, which was amazing. It was beautiful. A thing of beauty. Pushed Bronson Reed to the moon. Following that, we had the match for the SmackDown Women's Championship as Rhea Ripley took on Zelina Vega. This was all nice. This was nice. It was nice for Zelina Vega to get a huge ovation from this crowd and to put up a bit of a fight. I thought this could potentially just be a squash because I don't think Zelina Vega has been booked as a credible threat to Rhea Ripley, but I think they played the line just enough to make it not feel as though Rhea Ripley was being undone by someone who is potentially unworthy. I think Zelina got in the right amount of offense that she was supposed to, hitting a 619, hitting a tilt-a-whirl DDT, and just getting these plucky bits of offense in from Rhea, who was dominating the majority of the match, doing all the heel shenanigans, all the heel poses, all that good stuff. But yeah, Rhea picked up the win because of course she did. She seemingly just had enough. Huge kick to the head of Zelina Vega, Riptide, 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley picks up the win. I'm hoping that this feud, the Judgment Day, LWO stuff is over and we can sort of part ways and have Rhea Ripley do a bit more exciting stuff on Raw, give us some credible opponents, maybe throw in, I can't remember who's been drafted to Raw. Because I was going to say Bayley, but she's on SmackDown. Just give her Shayna. I think Shayna's on Raw. Shayna Rhea Ripley. Run it back from NXT. But yeah, really fun stuff. Really nice moment at the end as well for Zelina Vega as she was soaking in the applause from the San Juan crowd. So yeah, this was fun. Nothing to write home about, but really nice, really emotional, really fun. And speaking of really fun, let's talk about the San Juan Street Fight. Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny. Nuclear is what I would call the crowd in this match. Utterly nuclear for Bad Bunny. I couldn't tell you a single Bad Bunny song, but they were singing his theme like to the rafters, blowing the roof off the place. It was nuclear for everything that happened in this match. And I think this entire story, the entire Mysterio saga has been overbooked and played to perfection. One of the best matches at WrestleMania was Dominic versus Rey. Now this edition of Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest was jaw-droppingly overbooked and just played out to a T because there wasn't any sort of nonsense in the middle. It was just a straight up street fight, and I think both Priest and Bad Bunny looked awesome. They looked great. You know, Bad Bunny doing insane weapon shots to Damian Priest, brawling out into the crowd, huge Falcon Arrow from Damian Priest to Bad Bunny through some tables on the outside, and they all brawl back to the ring, plunder everywhere, weapon shots, kendo stick shots, trash can shots. The entire thing was brutal. And then it comes to the point where Bad Bunny's making a little bit of a comeback in the ring and he hits this like stunner to the leg of Damian Priest. And at that point I was like, either Damian Priest is a master of selling or he's genuinely hurt. And I think he's a master of selling because not Damian Priest, Bad Bunny just starts laying into the leg of Priest, hitting it with, wrapping it around the ring post, hitting it with kendo sticks, hitting it with chair on the around the ring post, and Damian Priest is selling this. He's hopping around the entire ring. He's just on one foot, and he did a great job of selling this. Then, of course, the Judgment Day come down. Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, they give Priest a little bit of the upper hand. Rey Mysterio comes down, and who should follow but Carlito? I spit in the face of people who like to be cool. It was so nice to see Carlito back. After seeing him at Full of Wrestling Convention, to see him here getting a huge monster pop coming out and just hitting all his moves, hitting a backstabber, chewing an apple. Great. Really great stuff. They chase Judgment Day back down the entrance ramp as Savio Vega makes his way down to the ring, stuck between a rock and a hard place, or Dominic and Finn, as Savio Vega lays on the chops, the head chops. And then the LWO come out, the Latino World Order, and it's just fun. The LWO was so hot and so over. It's really nice to see like Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, all those guys just get a really good ovation here. And like I said, the roof was going off the place. It was honestly one of the hottest crowds I've ever seen for this. And then Bad Bunny locks in a figure four on Damian Priest, ends up hitting a Canadian Destroyer for the 1-2-3. Bad Bunny picks up the win. I think this is a celebrity match done right. I think they're really, really nailing the celebrity matches, the Logan Paul matches, the Bad Bunny matches at the moment, because this was off the chain good. So yeah, go out of your way to watch this match. It is, I was going to say match of the year contender. It depends what you're into, but it's up there for me. Go and check it out. Then we had to come down a little bit from that amazing high with just a good match. The Bloodline taking on Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Matt Riddle in what was a really good match, a really good six-man tag, really good action in this. I think the issue for me is that I'm just sort of out of the Bloodline story. I think it's past its peak, which is the main issue I have with this. I'm sick of seeing Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Riddle feud with these guys, because Riddle did it last year, and now we've got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn continuing that. I get you've got the implosion of Solo and Jimmy and Jay. That was the story of this match, which is a bit sad because the champs are taking a bit of a back seat to that. The drama I thought was good, like Solo nearly hitting Jay with the Samoan Spike, the blind tags in, and Solo essentially picking up the win for the entire team, and then the tension bubbling over at the end. I thought that was good, but yeah, it's just it's past its peak. It needs something for me to properly sink my teeth into, because I've had this a lot, and I'm getting a bit over it now. It's past its peak. Like I've said, it's past its peak. But the in-ring stuff I thought was great. Matt Riddle is just sensational. Like some of the offense he had towards the end, his hot tag comeback was just beautiful. And yes, he did eat the pin, but who else are you going to pin? You're not going to pin one of the tag team champs. So I think, again, like the triple threat match, we knew who was taking the pin in this match, and it was Matt Riddle. But I'd like to see Matt Riddle against Gunther, personally, for the Intercontinental Championship, as they're both on Raw. Make that match happen, because that match would kill. So yeah, apart from like a few issues I have with the story, this was really, really fun. Really fun. Some good character work sprinkled in, but it's gone on too long. What can I say? So it was okay, not bad. What else can I say? And then we got the second main event, because it was billed as a double main event. You had Bad Bunny, Damian Priest as one main event, and then you had the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, taking on the Beast, Brock Lesnar, in a really, I don't know if this is going to be polarising. It might be a polarising match, but I thought this was really good. Really good first instalment, at least. I think, I don't know, I thought it was really good. Like, really good match. I would have ended with Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. Of course, I wouldn't have ended with this. But I thought it was good. I like the fire that Cody brought to this. I thought his, like, first opening sequence where he's just ploughing Brock Lesnar with absolutely everything he's got, hits him with a dive right off the bat, just wails on him on the outside, rips apart the table. Oh, that was great. Disaster kick. And then the inevitable Brock catches him in a Cody cutter, huge German suplex, and then we get Suplex City, where he just destroys Cody for probably about 3 minutes. Suplex. Then you get the comeback. He goes for a German suplex, and Cody rips a turnbuckle pad off the ring. And then that is, that's your Chekhov's gun. Something's happening with that turnbuckle pad. I didn't think it would be what happened. So Cody reverses Brock, and Brock goes flying into the turnbuckle, and he cuts his head. And he is pouring with blood. pouring with blood. We talked about Evil Dead at the beginning. This was like something out of Evil Dead. He is just covered in blood. Cody's covered in blood. He's got blood in his hair, and his bleached blonde hair. And it added a lot to this match. A lot. And I know it was like sort of the closing sequence and stuff like that, but you had Cody hitting his Cody Cutter, hitting 2 crossroads, and that was where I thought the match would end. But there was a great kick out from Brock at the end. Brock locks in a Kimura, like pouring with blood. I'm assuming this is an accident because there weren't many shots of Brock Lesnar's face. They were all just like Cody's. I'm assuming they didn't want to show a man bleeding like Brock was. But yeah, locks in a Kimura on Cody. Cody reverses the pressure just a little bit as he's about to tap. 1, 2, 3, pins Brock via that way and rolls out of the ring. I'm a bit iffy on the finish. I'd like to just see Cody win clean. I know he sort of won clean. He outsmarted Brock in that regard, but it's a similar finish to what we got in some of the Bobby Lashley matches. So I've got to assume this is leading to a rematch at Night of Champions. And we will get, Cody won't be in the tournament for the World Heavyweight Championship. He will face Brock in some sort of step, whether it be Hell in a Cell, no holds barred. It'll be some sort of big plunder match with Brock to have a definitive winner. So I'm fine in that regard. I just think the ending image of Cody sort of running away, not running away, he did sort of run away because he rolled straight out of the ring and then went up the ramp, and Brock was just sitting there like seething. It was a bit odd, particularly because Brock has been called a coward by Cody in the majority of this feud. So I think the ending was a little bit iffy, but we'll get another match down the line, I am assuming. But it was a weird finish. Weird finish, if you ask me. But that was the show. That was the show overall. It was a nice, lean pay-per-view. 3 hours and 10 minutes. Skipping through some of the Peacock stuff. It was all fun. It was all fun. I genuinely think this might be my favourite show of the year because I didn't hate anything on it. I didn't dislike anything on it. I thought it was like stacked from top to bottom and over-delivered from what I was expecting. I was expecting like a 2.5 from this, but instead I got, a 4.5 in my opinion. So it completely blew me out of the water, this show. I really, really loved it. And I think that's the consensus that everyone's having, is that this show truly over-delivered, had an awesome rock star crowd who really elevated everything. Like if this had been a 2.5 show, it would have been elevated because of the crowd. But with this being a 4-star show, it's elevated even more because of that electric atmosphere that was in the arena. So yeah, overall I give this 4.5 out of 5. It's one of my favourite shows of the year, and you should go check it out if you are a wrestling fan. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you like the show? Did you hate it? Let me know anything you want about the show, and I'll try and reply to all of you in the comments. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.